AmFam, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I've got a demo and my thoughts on the new Huda Beauty Empowered Palette. Let's go ahead and get into
Come on over, let's pick up where we left off. You and I had lots of love just to top it off. We can wind and down for days, never let it stop. I just want your everything, baby. Maybe later we can dance, never let go. Listen to our favorite songs on the radio. Loosen up and lose ourselves to this feeling, oh. I just want your everything, baby. I'll be deep under your influence tonight. Ooh, keep it coming, babe. I don't mind another round. Drinking from your bottle, baby. Calling it wasted love, wasted love. I can't get enough of my baby. I'ma be wasted love, wasted love. I'm spilling liquor on the carpet, sipping from my mouth, drinking from your bottle, baby. Calling it wasted love, wasted love. Moon is rising and the stars are coming now, but we miss it 'cause we're way down on the ground. Ain't nobody interrupting if we decide. I just need a night with you, baby. Yeah. Then we be blinded by the lights, oh. We get this feeling, oh, so right, oh. I'm so over being sober, yeah, all I know. I just need a night with you.
All right, let's talk about it. So everything that is on my face will be down below in the description box. From the brows to the lips, all the details are there. Let's talk about it. So I appreciate the fact that Huda Beauty only launches her big palettes like these once a year, just simply because it gives you the opportunity to use whatever her large palette launch was last year, a full year to use it. Now, I didn't buy last year's. I believe it was the retrograde. Please correct me if I am wrong, but I didn't get that one just simply because that palette didn't speak to me. I like Huda Beauty products. I use a lot of her products on myself and on my clients. Her eyeshadow formulas, I have always been a fan of. So this color story is a color story that I am a fan of, and it speaks to me. You get a little bit of cool tones here, and then you get your warmer tones here. Huda is always going to give you some form of purple, burnt orange, burgundy situations, which it makes sense just due to where she's from. What, is she from Dubai? I feel like she's from Dubai, or maybe she lives in Dubai. I can't remember exactly, but it's a whole vibe that she has going on, and I love the color story of this palette. It makes sense when you look at it. I feel that it's good for consumers because there are some palettes out there where I see the color story and I'm just kind of like, okay, as a makeup artist, this breaks my brain. So I can only imagine how someone who is a consumer, what? Okay, a brush hair. All right, we got it. Ugh, that was gross. It is a color story that is easy to work with. You don't have to think too hard which shades to use, where to use them. They just work. As far as the formulas, the formulations, her matte shade, she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mattes, which I can appreciate. And then she's got these 2 cream formulas here. I could have did without those. I think personally she should have done away with this creamy purple, gave us a brown, done away with this creamy black, and gave us a black, and we would have been Gucci. Now, if you saw my first impressions, one of my kind of concerns was that there wasn't really a lot of transition options. I felt that this was the only transition option. However, for this look, I used this shade and it worked out perfectly. So again, I feel that if we had a brown in here, everything would have been good. Also on the live, I did some swatches for these glittery tones here. I will say manifested. My first impression when I used this shade, It was incredible. I was shook. I wasn't expecting it to look the way that it did. Here is what manifested looks like on my finger here, and it went on like a dream when I did the first impression. But when I was using it today, I noticed, because I hadn't used it, I've been playing with this palette all week long, but I hadn't used that shade since the first impression, and it didn't go on easy. It was kind of patchy, it started crumbling a little bit, so I was just kind of like, what happened with the formulation? The only thing that I can think of is maybe it dried out from when I first initially used it, but when I used my finger to put it on my eye, it wasn't patchy. So if anyone else has experienced this, please let me know down below, because I don't know if this is just like, I don't know if this is just a user error or is it just how all the palettes are, but that was the one thing that I did notice. Bold moves. Okay. If you're going to be utilizing bold moves, please, please, please tap in lightly, okay? Because if you press down too hard on that one, it is going to crumble and go all over the place. It is a beautiful, beautiful shade. I believe this is my favorite shade within the palette. I did go over top of Manifest It with it, and I think it is stunning. However, in the palette, that's the one thing that does annoy me, and that was my fault because I underestimated just how pigmented that shade was, and I pressed in one time too hard and everything went all over the place. Same thing when I was doing my eyeshadow look today. I thought I pressed in soft enough, but I didn't, and I had the glitter falling all over my face, and that pissed me off because I hate it when that happens. However, always do, if you're going to be using any sort of glitter shimmer tone, do your eyes first and then your foundation, because you don't want that falling all over your foundation. And then I have not used Charisma yet, this gold shade here. I'll be doing more looks with the palette, don't you worry, but this shade is beautiful. Popping, and I'm not a swatcher, okay? That's not what I do here. I'm just doing it because I know someone's gonna be mad that I'm talking about the shades and not actually swatching them. So here is a Amberp bootleg swatch, okay? And then Courageous, this beautiful purple shade right here. That is so reflective and so pretty. All in all, I love this palette. I feel this is my favorite eye palette. This is my favorite eye palette. Let's try again. This is my favorite eyeshadow palette launch of the year. If you are trying to figure out if you should get ABH Rose Metals, and I'm not saying ABH Rose Metals because I feel like these palettes are similar. I personally do not think that they are similar at all, but if you are debating getting one over the other, I'm just mentioning ABH Rose Metals because it's the newest palette that's launched. It launched before this one. I would go with Huda Beauty just simply because I think the color story is beautiful. I like Rose Metals, there's nothing wrong with it, but if you have to pick one, I would go with Huda Beauty just for the simple fact that you can get a ton more looks out of this one. And when I say looks, I'm meaning different looks than the other one. With this one, you're going to get some warm looks. You're going to get some cool tone looks. You got all sorts of shimmers to play with. I just think it is a fantastic palette. However, if you don't like Huda Beauty, don't buy it. If the color story does not speak to you, I don't care how good I say something is, how good someone else says something is. If you don't like the color story, if you don't like the brand, it's a no-brainer. You don't have to buy it. And also, if you don't like Huda, that's fine. Just you do you, I'ma do me, all right? So that is going to wrap up my review and demo on the Huda palette. Down below in the comments, I wanna know, did you get it? Are you getting it? Also, if you didn't get it and you want it, girl, just wait like what? 2 more weeks, 1 more week? When's the sale? The sale's on the 28th, hold on. Where am I? Let me make sure. Yeah, the sale will be next Friday. So girl, just hold on. Get your 20% off because I believe this is $65, $67. She's expensive. If you want it, wait for the sale. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Keep it simple.
Come on over, let's pick up.